Since the movie takes place on Mars, they tinted the usual Disney logo red. Well, 2 can play at that game.
Mars.
Narration. Also, you turned your Disney logo Mars red, then the first spoken word of the movie is Mars. So tell me again why you felt the need to remove "of Mars" from the original title? McNulty isn't investigating Walter White for drugs in this movie. How can you tell? Those ships aren't visible until the camera pans over. Blue strings of power. I know when I get an amazing gift that I don't understand from 3 floating wise men, my first instinct is to try and blast them with it. 1881, the year where only the black umbrella was in fashion. Guy following John Carter somehow misses the one woman in New York City wearing something bright today, and therefore misses John Carter.
That's 50 cents unless you want special delivery. Special delivery it is.
Hey, what if he wanted change?
Name of sender?
Carter. John Carter.
Old-timey James Bond. Also, roll credits. Also, Tim Riggins isn't something football dreamboat rebel in this scene. Are we to believe that this guy walked past Carter a minute ago, lost him in the sea of black umbrellas, and yet guessed correctly that he'd go to this telegraph place? Telegram that can be read in 1 second is held up for 5 seconds by a guy on a train who obviously already read the very simple message. Maybe he thought John Carter included a cipher?
The income to benefit my beloved nephew?
Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote himself into his own story? In the words of Nicolas Cage in Adaptation, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
This wild tale begins 13 years ago.
We are watching a movie about a guy reading a story about a guy telling a story.
You are a difficult man to find, Captain John Carter.
Obviously not. They went right into the bar and found him. And he's at that bar so much he ran up a tab over $100. So no, he's not hard to find. I'm gonna go ahead and send this movie right now for putting Bryan Cranston in it for like 10 minutes. Can we give this guy a whole movie for once?
I have paid in full.
Character wears both woman and man's wedding Oh. P-plan.
I'm gonna tell you again.
What was the plan if this guy wasn't brain dead?
He stole your horse.
Okay, so wait, didn't he have like this much of a head start? And he took the Colonel's horse, right? So is the Colonel's horse way slower than the other horses? And if these horses are faster than his horse, why aren't they catching up to him now?
I thought you didn't care! I don't!
I thought you didn't care, I don't cliche. A series of plot conveniences leads John Carter to the cave he's always been looking for and finds it just at a time when one of these hologram dudes shows up. Mars is convenient, in that it has an atmosphere with air to breathe and it's not ridiculously cold, and less gravity so that John Carter can become Superman. Did the hatching begin because he started looking at them? Or is it just super coincidental timing? Thankfully, this amulet that is clearly the conduit to travel between Earth and Mars is picked up by someone central to the story within minutes of it being lost in complete wilderness. This guy just tried to kill Carter, but because Carter jumped really high, immediately flips his goals upside down and fights for Carter's life. Point is, this guy really likes jumping. Don't ever show him Space Jam.
Tars Tarkas.
Unfortunately for this story written way back in 1917, the Star Wars prequels happened. And now everything I see reminds me of those damn Star Wars prequels. Martians are dicks to their unborn children, and I'm okay with that. And I am not okay with that.
Barsoom, a world on the brink.
This chick isn't something on my something in this scene. Hot damn.
Our best troops and fleetest ships are proven less than useless.
Yeah, but he's only got the ability to shoot one thing in a concentrated beam. Are you sure you're not trying to attack this guy one ship at a time? Because it seems like a coordinated attack could take this asshole down.
It will work.
Nerve center of the Ninth Ray is inconveniently located at a distance from the weapon itself, giving shady assholes walking behind a crowd of people the ability to secretly destroy it.
He will spare helium if you accept his hand in marriage.
Royal daughter is betrothed to someone she doesn't love or want to marry cliché.
He is a monster. You must refuse him.
He's already on his way here.
I really can't decide on whether I should send the father for giving away his daughter before consulting her, or the daughter for thinking she had a choice in the matter. This is a great time to transform back into my evil self for no reason. Adoption race.
Out the gig, Virginia. Suck.
He just f***ing jumped a second ago trying to get his port key back. All these people have already seen him jump super far. CGI Martian hand hilariously blocks John Carter's privates as he's thrown into the goo bowl. Didn't a bunch of would-be parents claim these kids during the child wrangling rodeo a minute ago? How did they decide whose baby is whose?
What's in that stuff?
Oh, good. They solved that language barrier problem with some sort of Gerber's horn liquid. Wow, he f***ing spotted that shit instantly. Apparently John Carter has the ability to kill a green Martian with one hit, but can't fight off all these guys like cockroaches with the same superhuman strength.
What have you done?
How do you know from here that has anything to do with her? Hester Prynne. Damn, don't these guys ever use keys?
There is no room for another mark, Soda. Your next offense will be your last.
This society judges worthiness based on how much surface area skin you have on your back. A really fat guy could get away with twice as many crimes. Seriously, keys? Accidentally well-timed dramatic attack coincides with John Carter's big prisoner prove yourself scene.
That don't look like a fair fight.
Seriously, am I missing something? It's a beam of light that he shoots in one direction, and multiple ships should be able to surround and fire upon his ship no problem. She survives all this shit. Okay, so now Gambit and Wolverine's girlfriend from X-Men Origins Wolverine are in the same shot, reminding us of X-Men Origins Wolverine. Carter loses his sword, but thankfully it literally lands in the hands of the princess, who is already obviously his true love.
No, take him alive.
We've been told that this blue yarn thing has more power than just for killing, so why can't he use it to subdue or capture a prisoner?
You can still bleed like...
Thark's Ex Machina.
And I cannot guarantee the safety of your red girl.
Okay, first of all, that red girl shit is racist. Second of all, how is she his red girl? And how does this Thark know that?
Dotar Sojat.
Man, the CGI got super excited in this shot.
Jump for me.
23% of this movie is people commanding John Carter to jump.
You said planet.
I did say planet. Now let us wait until night falls to discuss this further.
Sun. Then Rasu.
Despite calling the planets all different names, the people of Mars still call the sun, sun.
Then Rasu.
Mercury.
Then Kosu.
This is either a sin for astronomy lessons or for Mars to English lessons. I honestly don't care.
Then Earth. Us.
John Carter can jump hundreds of feet in the air. He's observed an entirely different species, and yet he still thinks he's on Earth?
That brought me here.
She instantly knows he means the medallion as opposed to the Thark, or the weapon in his hand, or any of the other objects that would have seemed logical to a Mars girl. Tattletale.
In the time of oceans, they walked among us.
This Thark helpfully follows them and has the very expositional information they seek.
There's some kind of writing up there.
So I'm not going to ask permission to pick you up and jump straight up there with no warning.
What if I didn't trust you?
Then we'd be even.
When did this mistrust begin, anyway? Weren't they having a grand old time fighting off Zidangans a minute ago? Discount Prince of Persia.
A Thark has no parent but the Horde.
So why was there a mad scramble to chase down and own babies earlier?
You must hurry. I mean to release you.
Well, you are just a fountain of good fortune, aren't you?
Keep moving! We'll get there!
Yep, that's how trips work.
I do not think she leads us to the Is.
You've been riding around for days. How do you not know that already?
I cannot marry him!
Even on Mars, they play the pronoun game. Also, wait, she was screaming about how going to Helium would show Carter how worthy their cause against Zodanga was. But Helium, aka her king dad, already sold out and agreed to give her to Zodanga's Jetak. But she thinks going back to Helium is the strategy for getting out of marrying him?
He offered a truce to my father in exchange for my hand.
Your father?
Tardos Mors.
Sabthan, Tardos Mors, Dotar Sojat, Tars Tarkus. I'd hate to attend a college graduation on Mars.
She is a princess.
Princess of Mars.
Roll credits. Only the book fans will get that joke.
If you had the means to save others, would you not take any action possible to make it so?
Like marrying the enemy so a truce can spare the lives of all your people?
Hector, they have reached the Is.
Already? Damn, didn't they go in the wrong direction for days before turning around?
It took them longer than I thought.
Why are you even here? Why haven't you already gotten your army to go stop them if you knew they were headed that way? You haven't been doing jack shit since we last saw you. That's the second time that's happened. It's like jump rape. Okay, so he brought the army here, but why did he magically show up to the canyon first, then go find the army, then bring them back? Why didn't he just appear near the army and then go to the Is? Flashback during an action sequence.
I was too late once. I won't be again.
What the hell does this even mean? I understand you weren't there to save your wife and daughter from a fire, but how can you predict your future punctuality for house fires or any other calamities? Guy who couldn't handle a few of those Tharks a minute ago is suddenly a one-man army when the movie needs it. All you need to know about this fire is that somehow his wife and daughter died, but not how the fire started or why he was so damn late to save them. Guy who said he'd never be late again is too late to jump out of this pile of bodies.
He came to me alone, without an escort. I could have had him imprisoned. I could have had him killed.
But I decided to go with Plan Z and just trust the guy who's been killing everyone all this time.
With our two cities united, anything is possible.
Somehow, this works, despite the fact that Deja could easily buy more time to set up her own ninth ray and not have to marry this dickwad if she just ended him right now.
All you have to do is marry me.
This is like the most literal game of marry, kill ever. These bad guy guards fall for this terrifically stupid thing.
You can get us over there. She said I could make that.
Dude, did we not see you just jumping from airplane to airplane with no issues earlier? This seems like a challenge all of a sudden.
It's traditional Zodangan, worn by the groom's mother, I'm told.
What? I mean, why are you wearing it then? Well, they built everything a jumping asshole needs to avoid being seen in this room, didn't they? Earlier, Mark Strong stopped Sabthan from shooting John because he wanted him alive, but here it looks like he's perfectly capable of controlling someone with this blue web shit, and they could have avoided about an hour of this movie.
And I do not exist. Indeed. I work very hard at it.
Except for right now, when I'm telling a total stranger from another planet all about it. Also, why did he bother turning into an old lady? What's the point of that shit?
She's a remarkable creature, and she came very close indeed.
You mean the ninth ray?
It's of no consequence now.
Why is he giving all this crucial information to the audience? I mean, to John Carter.
When the two moons meet and vows are exchanged, she and anyone else with knowledge of the ninth ray will be eliminated.
Oh, good. Just enough time to foil the plan.
We've been playing this game since before the birth of this planet.
Literal Deus Ex Machina. Where has Woola been this whole time? And are we supposed to believe he's so fast he can surprise attack a god? Woola even somehow knew to bite down on the medallion to free John, even though it's never shown the power to be able to hold someone prisoner before.
Guards! After it!
Why don't you go ahead and stop him? Don't you have the power? Movie that either does or does not wish to trade on Star Wars imagery devolves into nothing but Star Wars imagery, regardless of its wishes. Oh, come on. How did Solo know to be standing here right now?
I told you Woola would follow you anywhere.
Except in key scenes where he might have been even more valuable, but hooray for the hero dog.
Up now! We go!
Seconds after placing Carter in this cell, it's up now we go time. Why did you even bring him to the cell? Are there just not latches on these chains, or do they have to cut through them every time? The chain budget in the Thark clan must be insane. Director had a conflict with the set designer about enough spikes surrounding the arena.
We are united because we call our freaks. We are strong because we despise weakness.
Said the guy missing a face horn, who, despite that freakish weakness, somehow became leader.
No! Let us watch you!
Don't you hate it when you're throwing someone into an arena and you throw yourself too? God, I hate that. Even if he stabbed the white ape, how do they not all die from being underneath the white ape when it falls dead?
Go tar Sojat! Go tar Sojat!
Single person's chant somehow inspires crowd to join in cliche. Anticlimactic battle is anticlimactic. How does Tars know what the salute sign is? Why is he just returning a gesture he can't possibly understand? What if that means I f***ed your daughter, or I'm covered in nasty-ass blue blood? You saw how the chick shook his hand earlier, right? Movie wants to have its planetary cultural misunderstanding cake and eat it too. Jesus, this has been the longest day ever. Giving the movie the benefit of the doubt, and I don't, John maybe wakes up the next day after he slaughtered all these worthless guys. But then there's the escape, the jumping, the meeting with the princess, getting controlled by Mark Strong, watching some of the wedding ceremony, John asking questions that don't get answered, another escape, getting captured again, and we assume taken a long way back to where the Tharks live, thrown into a dungeon, fighting the white apes, killing Tal, and then back on the road to stop the wedding graduate style. Lots of whatevers hit an unguarded thing, and the Tharks are home free.
They're at the wedding! In helium!
How could Carter have predicted that, head-slapping asshole? This culture's weddings have the bride and groom carry a literal chain en route to the marriage ceremony.
No! No, raise the alarm. It's one of ours.
Yeah, but aren't you given some sort of instructions about possible aircraft flying through during the wedding? And are you the only two people concerned with this thing? Sam decides to swing his sword at the water thing rather than Deja, even though he has a clear and easy stabbing lane. What is this asshole waiting for?
You'll just get behind me, sir.
Remember when you were begging his ass to fight for your side in the war because he was such an awesome warrior? Kinda doesn't jive with this cute scene here. Whatever. I gave up so long ago I still think we're in America.
Helium's fate is sealed, Earthman.
Just kill him already!
Thank the goddess that's over with.
Funny, but since we've been told over and over again that Tharks don't fly, the fact that they were able to fly it perfectly into this cathedral is some bullshit. John uses this advantage to stab Sab in the knee rather than lopping his fool head off. Shang immediately kills Sab with the blue matrix shit, but somehow has to go through a long, slow ordeal with John so that Deja can save the day. Is there an advantage to turning into Deja here? I mean, 2 hot chicks is better than 1, I suppose, but, you know, I mean, strategically. Here's another villain talking instead of killing.
Chedak, I see you have changed your metal.
Wait, metal? Or metal? Or metal? Metal? John proposes marriage after only knowing this woman for 2 days. Also, whoa, taking off your dead wife's wedding ring to give it to the Mars girl you love now? That is a romantic party foul. And then they got married immediately.
John Carter there.
Thank goodness Earth people and Mars-based heliumites have private parts that allow for romantic sexual marriage. Yep, this can't possibly come in handy ever again.
John Carter of Mars sounds much better.
Then why did you name the movie just John Carter?
Like a fool, I had thrown away my medallion.
Narration. And even worse, not even the same dude that narrated in the opening of this film.
For if my body dies on Earth, then my copy dies on Mars.
Yeah, but what's happening with your copy on Mars? Do they see your lifeless body at the castle and put you in storage or something? Bad guys continue to attack in a way that is slow and makes no sense.
Toxin, derived from the puffer fish, simulates death.
Vague drug that simulates death cliche. Wow, they changed the title that late that they didn't even have time to remove this? F whoever in the marketing department decided at the last minute to whitewash Mars from the movie's title. That guy is an idiot.
You will jump, Virginia.
Fantastic point of view.
Come on then. Very good. Push. Push.
The only
good human is a dead human.
But one man bursts his bonds to fight for justice with his companions Ookla the Mock and Princess Ariel.
Sir, perhaps together. The Mokhtar chant of strength. Larak, Tarath. Larak, Tarath. Larak, Tarath. Larak, Tarath. Larak, Tarath. Larak, Tarath. Larak, Tarath.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
The pen is blue. The pen is blue! The goddamn pen is blue!
Say it now. Ok Ohem Okte.
Klaatu, Marada,